So out in Ocotillo, I'm gonna try to do a hike to some petroglyphs, hieroglyphs. Just made it out. It's probably about 82 degrees, and it is right at 10 a.m. Got here from San Diego. It's a gorgeous day out. I'm gonna see what kind of hiking we can do to get to this place, if we can even find the place. But my trail is gonna lead me back into the Jacumba Wilderness that way. No vehicles at all beyond this point. Down in the wash. Traveling this for a few miles before we hit out in the wilderness area for sure. Gonna be more rocks and things for me to climb over, and there'll be that nice wall to scale on top of another wall. All throughout here you can see quartz veins running throughout some of these rock surfaces. Be interested to see if there was any gold that ever got taken out of this place at one time. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it just wasn't worth it. Who knows? But there's a lot of quartz. Alright, here's the wall that I encountered. I gotta climb. Alright, so if you look back to that drone flight, we climbed, I want to say at least 100 or more feet from this nice stair step down to that sandy patch below that other first cliff that I just showed you. As quiet as can be down here. The drone flight was successful. We're going to keep moving on with our journey. See how quickly we can get to where we need to go. See if we can find our end results. We got a supply bin. Looks like they got food and they've got water here for people coming through. Looks like there's gloves and water and like a can of tuna here for people crossing the border. And it's all dated, which is very, very nice for anybody who's is crossing the border and is about to die of thirst or is cold and coming through at night. That way they can get everything they need to be safe. This is a far off, hard to get to place in the wilderness, especially if you're not border patrol and you're not able to drive or anything like that. This is like a remote area to hike and walk. And with what I encountered back there with the stair steps climbing up, that was a little bit more extravagant. Granted, you could probably take a route going over the mountain here, a small hill, whatever you like to call it, but that would expend a lot of energy, possibly a little bit dangerous. Both ways are kind of dangerous. It's just, I guess it's up to you which way you want to take. Back driver here is what we need to do for border patrol. So Now we're getting to the valley. Up here it's going to widen out, I think, from what I saw on the maps. That's going to be a nice valley up ahead with a road running right down to the border wall. And then it's going to take us to the canyon where we're going to try to do some digging around and find what we're looking for. To be honest, high hopes, but then again, I've had high hopes and they've been crushed just because there's been no definite location. On forums and different things, it is said you look up the USGS maps and to find out where it says Pinto Canyon and to mark that P, and that's where the destination is going to be. But zooming in and out, Pinto shows up a couple of times, so I don't know if I'm using the right maps or not. That's just the way it is. So I'm going to go in there. I'm just going to check around on the surfaces of the rocks to see if I can't find anything. So I get bit, stung, or hit by something on my hand. Probably rock climbing. Might have been an insect, could have been a scorpion. I have no idea. Wasn't really paying too much attention. It itches like it's a bite of some sort or a sting, so just have to keep an eye on this. It might prevent me from going too far. I might have to turn around if it's that bad. This road, whatever it is, and hopefully I'll be connecting another mile to the main road to get down south to the wall. I've been walking for a little bit now. Apple Maps wasn't working, but Google Maps was, but it wasn't pinpointing me. But I know where I'm at just due to the location and what I see landmark wise. Also just confirmed it, Border Patrol just plowed on through on the road in front of me. So I know I'm heading the right direction. Take a right into Pinto Canyon, start searching for those glyphs. Maybe these guys are nice enough to talk to me and point me in the direction of something, who knows. Here's that main road used by the Border Patrol in the Jacumba Wilderness. So if you are hiking or walking, it might behoove you to just go ahead and walk on this and take the main road instead of the route that I took. It's up to you. The one I took had a little bit more adventure in it versus this flat one, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier going than that thick, soft sand that you just kind of fall through the whole way there, so it works out kind of nice. Progress has been steady. Made it around that nice hill. The one. There's another one far back there where I came up out of the canyon. And then I think I only got like a mile and a half left to go. I hit 5 miles back there with my Garmin. Not sure how true that is, but I'll take it at 5 miles. It sounds about right for what I've gone. All in all, might be 6 to 7 mile journey to actually get to the destination. Up ahead here looks like a little Border Patrol outpost. Just chilling. The truck that passed earlier looks like they're sitting here. Don't see anybody out. He must be in his cabin chilling. So we got the border wall in front of us. Goes, just snakes all the way down and up and down that way. But as you can tell, right there, that's the end of the border wall. No more border wall over the mountains. So it's just free range territory between Mexico and US over here on this area. But I'm near the canyon I need to be in. I knew I was near it. Just got to go off in that way and start looking for this rock art. Hopefully it's somewhere out in the open, easy to find. Pinto Canyon, dead ahead. We just gotta go down and follow that. I gotta head down there. Lovely more soft sand. There goes a hare, desert hare up the hill. I've seen about 3 or 4 of them so far out here on my hike. Still moving, little by little. Doing pretty good so far. I sure wish this was the beach with water lapping up over this area. Make for a much better hike. Now that I'm actually in the canyon, I'm trying to keep my eyes peeled all times for rocks. Might have any kind of art on it at all. Alright, so just up ahead, I'm starting to see some palms. So that's a good sign. I know in the photos of where this is located, there are palms. So I am really trying to find these rocks where these are. Hopefully we'll find something. We'll just go a little further and see. Basket, supplies. Looks like a little first aid kit. It's kind of nice. There's flies everywhere. There's an oasis in here. This is really nice. Flies are miserable. I hate them. I see something up on the hill, a rock. Let me go check it out. It doesn't look like what I'm looking for, but it is something. It means I'm in the right place at least. I know it wasn't in vain to try to find this. Oh yeah, actually, I have seen a lot. Whoa. I found where I need to be. That's it. Rock art. So look at this. Take a look there. Looks like you got 3 people maybe. 1, 2, 3. Circle, dot in the center. That one's holding something maybe. Let's go over here and take a look at these. These are a little bit more interesting. Interesting design. Not sure what that is. There's another something up here. Don't know what that is. And then there's this. What is that? Looks like they're doing the split. Where there's 2 people laying down on the side. One person over and blessing them with something. Kind of weird. So this is the kind of stuff that's very interesting to try to find. And this is kind of what I'm looking for. I'm in the right area. I just gotta find the right boulder now. This is so cool to find this. However old this might be. And that's no design that anybody nowadays would put. That's for sure. Oh, it looks like an arrow pointing down. If you look at it correctly. Look at over here. Got another symbol, possibly. Every time I see a palm, I get excited. These things look really old. I'm thinking, well, rock art should be close by, but as of now, my theory of palms being close by and there being rock art, it's not really like working out for me. We'll see though. This is a bigger forest of palms, it looks like. So we'll kind come in here and we'll take a poke around. Following animal tracks to the spot. It's easier to follow them. Carve my own path out. Alright, last palms. After this I gotta turn around due to lack of water and just not knowing where it's at, so still. So beautiful in here. Places that I get to come out here in California. Tucked away. This is literally like a little patch of paradise with these palms. It's too bad those petroglyphs aren't here. Right where I want them to be. But I can't complain because I still saw some really cool ones. If I was a civilization 400 years ago, there were trees growing here, fresh water, I would certainly make my home right here. See the dampness of everything. Might run across the stream, but if I dug down a little bit I'd find it. I should have just brought my life straw. That would have been great. Water. There it is. All the bees are by the water. Some animal dug down and found it. Good for them. Alright, so I want to say, proud of myself. 8.7 miles, 8.75 miles later. Looking all around, like every single rock, like where is it? Where is it? It's somewhere. I know it is. Holy smokes, I'm so glad I've been looking everywhere because sure enough, I found what I'm looking for. I don't know if you can see this. Right here on this nice rock wall is art, this is petroglyphs, pictograph, whatever the heck you want to call it. They're pictures. And it's a picture that looks like a sailing ship or a Viking ship, but by the looks of it, now that I can actually see it in person, there's a few of them. So look at that. It's very, very warm, but it's there. Picture of a ship this way. Barely see that because of the shade, but of course it looks like the whole of the ship. Possibly right here onto that ship with a mast. See the round things off that and the little round thing, maybe some type of anchor. Don't know. Did you see the other pictures around? I cannot tell you how happy I am to actually be sitting here filming this, because now I can go back. More excited to go back than I am of this now. But no, this is cool. Why would a picture of a sailing ship be out in the middle of a wilderness canyon? So we were approximately around 90 miles or so, give or take, I would imagine, from San Diego in the ocean. Why is this photo all the way out here? I mean, it may be a different boat. Maybe it's a Native American boat, but it's, you could distinctively see it's got the sail right here. You have this, and it looks like it's got like things coming out here for oar slits. On the caravel that was brought up, looking around for pearls and gold, they had ore ports, I think 13 on each side. Possibly. I'll have to look into it and let you guys know in the video. But yeah, this is it. Made it. Now I can go back. Okay, so now we get to start that beautiful long trek home. It's just a matter of pace, and we'll probably be back since that took us a long time. Mile at a time, that's all we can do out here. Keep it easy and a mile at a time. Getting closer to being near the edge of the canyon and the wall. It's one thing about hiking in a desert. You can't really find the shade with the trees. You can find a canyon wall or a big sand wall or a rock wall if they're there, but if you need to be moving, it's very hard to find that shade in the trees. Getting super close to the wall. Now it's coming up here another probably half a mile. Alright, out of that canyon. Tell you what, that was a long hike out of that canyon. Now I got an even longer hike back to the car. It's been a great day so far. Been staying hydrated. Doing pretty well with that. To get past this hill, about a mile, and then I could take that right, take my path home. It sure is beautiful with the sun position out here. It's so quiet, nobody else out here. Green, ocotillos are in bloom. Sure is pretty. As from the long video that you guys just watched, you're probably wondering why I'm out in the middle of the desert looking for this ship on a rock. Is it really that worth it to look for? To me it was. It was a clue that led me closer to the backstory of which I'm about to give you. In the years 1612 to 1615, King Philip III of Spain commissioned 3 Spanish caravels to be built in Acapulco, Mexico. It was much easier for the materials to be traveled over by land to Acapulco versus sailing a galleon months and months and months down the tip of South America. Shallow drafts, 13 oar ports, a sail in the middle that's square. With these, 3 Spanish captains went throughout the Gulf of California, down the coast of Mexico, up the coast of California, looking for gold, pearls, and other treasures. While they were trading with the locals, some of the trades they did were deceitful, and they had to run. One of the captains, Cordon, he was wounded by an arrow, and the ships took off away from the shoreline. The story goes one of the ships, commanded by Rosales, struck a reef, and he was sinking. Juan de Iturbe and his ship and crew came to his rescue. They loaded all the gold and pearls onto his ship. In total, when the 3 ships were commissioned, there were 75 crew members, divers and crewmen alike. The divers they acquired from Africa because the Africans wouldn't try to escape and run because it wasn't their homeland. Once all of the goods and pearls were loaded on Juan de Iturbe's ship, they pressed northward into the Gulf of California, trying to explore and find more treasures. When they got to the Gulf of California, this was back in the 1600s. They had a tidal bore or a spring flood that kept the rivers going very high, and they were able to sail inland into what is now a dry lake bed. The dry lake bed, now located in Ocotillo in El Centro, was once known as Lake Cahuilla. This lake circled miles and miles around California and was also a part of the Salton Sea area. Now, I've spent many days looking out in Ocotillo for rocks and crystals. Mainly we're trying to find petrified wood, petrified palm, coral, and shells. There are many of these things in Ocotillo. The proof that I've found in my other videos, Coral in the Desert, proves the Lake Cahuilla once was a lake, possibly an inland sea. In my previous videos, I found petrified coral and petrified wood in Ocotillo at Plaster City. I've also found shells in other areas of Ocotillo out in the middle of the desert. This just is extra proof to show you that there once was a body of water that encompassed the entire southern region of where Lake Cahuilla once was. I'm not saying that the coral and the petrified wood were back when Iturbe sailed the lake, but I am saying that it is possible that the entire area used to be an inland sea at one time. Once Juan de Iturbe got into Lake Cahuilla, they sailed around the outskirts, looking for a way to keep crossing and finding new treasures. He eventually sailed into the Colorado River, sailing as far as Blythe, Arizona. After they got to Blythe, they turned around the ships. Weeks later, they made it back down to Lake Cahuilla. By this time, water levels had fallen very far. They sailed around the lake trying to find a way out. Eventually, they realized that they were stuck, and they grounded the ship on a sandbar. From there, the crew walked hundreds of miles back to their settlement in Mexico. Supposedly, one of the crew members came back and tried to relocate the ship, but couldn't. The ship was supposedly left with all of its treasures, pearls, and gold because they were too heavy to carry hundreds of miles back to the settlement where they once came. So they left it all on board. And this ship is still out there somewhere in El Centro, as odd as it may seem, a Spanish caravel in the dirt someplace. Now, another account comes from Jacob Nielsen, who was a pig farmer in El Centro. He had many different pigs, and he was looking for things to try to form together a shed to keep his pigs out of the elements. Behind his house one day was a large sand dune, and eventually a large windstorm came and uncovered what were parts of a ship. He used parts of the wooden ship to build sheds for his pigs. This story I'm going to leave in the description below with a link to a video where a gentleman goes over an extensive account of Neil Jacobson and what he found, supposedly. But my story today is why I actually went into the desert. I went to find this rock with an image that looks somewhat like a ship. Why would Native Americans be drawing on this rock 90 miles from the coastline versus 15 miles from where Lake Cahuilla once was? Now, San Diego has this rock. Anybody can see it. It's in the harbor area of San Diego. I don't know exactly where it is, but you can somehow see this image, and it tells you that Native Americans came to the coastline 90 miles away to paint this image on a rock in the Jacumba Wilderness. For some reason, that doesn't add up. Being 90 miles away from the coastline
and drawing a picture on a rock 15 miles away from where the supposed ship actually went down. My curiosity was sparked, and I wanted to see if the evidence that I found in the middle of the desert proved true, to see if it was actually a Spanish caravel that was painted on the rock. For my clue and as for my evidence, I'm going to let you viewers figure out on your own whether or not this would be a Spanish caravel and is Juan de Iturbe's treasure ship with his pearls and gold and jewels still aboard. As for now, I'm going to close the chapter on the lost ship of the deserts. If any of you think it is Juan de Iturbe's treasure ship, post in the comments below. I'm very curious to see what you think. If not, I'm also very curious to see below what else you may think it is. Maybe I'm going crazy. But needless to say, it was a good experience overall, and I'm glad I did it.